Okay, welcome to those people who have started arriving. I see there's a few participants that are joining us in the room right now. Welcome. Just to let you know, we're only going to be starting just at about 2 or just after 2, waiting for more people to arrive. As you arrive, I would like you to join us in the chat. So if you look on the bottom of your screen, open up the chat bubble, and then you can chat to us quite easily via that. So you'll just need to make sure that you change the settings so that you're talking to all the panelists and the attendees. So the panelists, those are the guys that you can see at the top of the screen, including myself. Attendees are everybody who's joining. So make sure you set your chat to all the panelists and all the attendees, and then you can say, how's it to us down there? I'm going to type in the message now and you should get it. Oh, my computer seems to be pretty unstable on this. Great, a few more people are joining us. We're now up to 12 participants, which is fantastic. If you've just joined us, please do say how's it to us in the chat function. Remember to change your chat to read that you're sending to all panelists and attendees. Otherwise, you're just going to be sending to the panelists, which is just myself and Tanya and Chris, as you can see on the top of the screen. So make sure you change the setting to say how's it to everybody. Great, we're seeing Sheila's here, Dana is here. Very cool to have you guys joining us. As you're coming into the room, as I say, we're going to wait for people to arrive. Say how's it to us in the chat. Tell us where it is you're coming in from, so we know where in the world or in the country you are joining us today. So it's pretty hot here in Cape Town. I'm joining you from Fishhook in Cape Town. I see Tanya is also in Cape Town. Also, yeah, very hot. I see Sean has just joined us. Fantastic, Sean. Glad that you're here. I'm hoping that you're sitting with Seth there. I'm going to enable your video so we can see you there. Sean, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
Yeah, perfectly.
Awesome. I'm here with Seth as well. He'll join me on my laptop, so he'll be in front of the screen with you, but he'll be with us in a minute or two.
Not a problem. Great to have you. I'm gonna mute you for now, sure, as I am with all other participants. There we go. Great. I see Angela's joined us. Sianda's joined us. Fantastic. As you come into the room, I just would like you to open up your chat, which is a little speech bubble at the bottom of your screen. Click on that, and then make sure that you set your chat to all panelists and attendees so that you're chatting to the whole group. To tell you what the difference is, the attendees is everybody that's joining us today. The panelists are the guys that are running the webinar, so that's myself, and you'll see some names at the top there, Tanya, Chris, and Sean, and with Sean will be Sethlani Manchidi, who is coming in from Johannesburg Investex offices. Welcome to everybody who has arrived. We've got a few more minutes, about 5 or 6 more minutes to let people come into the virtual room to join us for today's closing ceremony. As I say, if you've just arrived, welcome. Join us on the chat. Let us know where you're joining us from. Dan, I think it's Dana, is coming in from a windy Durban, or just north of Durban. Apparently it's absolutely pumping there. Got a few more from Joburg. I see Sianda's coming in from Port Elizabeth, also very hot there. We've got Limpopo here, fantastic. Okay, so quite a few people coming in from different parts of South Africa. There's Joy, welcome Joy here, joining us from the very hot Cape Town. There's somebody from Richards Bay. Hout Bay. That's Richard, okay, fantastic. As I say, if you've just joined us, welcome, and we're very excited to have you here today. Please join us just chatting in the chat box. So all you need to do is click on your little speech bubble at the bottom of your screen. It'll open up the chat. Then just change who you're talking to so that it goes to all the panelists and the attendees so that we can chat all together. Thanks, Sean, from Investec CSI. So glad that you're here. You're coming in from the Joburg office, I'm assuming. Pumza is coming in from Port Elizabeth. Fantastic. We've had a few more people join us in the last 30 seconds. We're just going to make sure that everybody who is able to join us today is safely and happily in the virtual room. We do know that it's not always easy to take time out of our busy week, and especially on a Friday in the middle of the school holiday week. So those of you who have kids, I'm sure, are going to be very keen to get back to them as soon as you can. See, a few more people have joined us. Welcome. Please do jump in to the chat with us and let us know where it is you joining us today from. It is important when you do open the chat function that you make sure you're sending to all the panelists and the attendees so that you're chatting to everybody in the room today. We are waiting for a few more people to join us, so please bear with us as we welcome people into today's closing ceremony. I see some more people that just joined. Those that have just come in, say how's it to us in the chat. Let us know where it is you're coming in from. Make sure you open up the chat function so you can see all that is going on with the rest of your entrepreneurs in the network. Oh, excellent, Imad. So good that you're here. Imad, I wonder where it is you're joining us from. Imad, I think you've got your setting to just chat with panelists. Remember to change it to panelists and attendees so that everybody can read your messages. Fantastic. Chris Muller, I just want to, Pango, I just wanted you to check. I think Stuart has joined us, but he has got, he's joined and it's coming across as Chris Hoskin. Stuart, have you, can you hear me?
Perfectly. Can you hear me okay?
Brilliant, Stuart. And I can hear you perfectly. I'm going to hit mute. At the moment it says that you are Chris Hoskin at the top there. Just going to get Chris Muller to change it. There we go. Your name is there. I'm going to hit mute now on you and then unmute you and put the video on when we want to bring you into the room.
Okay, that's fine. Thanks.
Right, thanks, Stuart. Excellent. We have a couple more people who've just joined us. We've got Matt coming in from Durban, fantastic. And I see Melissa's coming in from Johannesburg. Great. So we're getting there. The numbers are climbing. Thank you so much for those people that have just joined us. It's so great to have you here on a Friday afternoon for the closing ceremony. Those people who have just come into the room, please remember to open up your chat so we can chat the whole way through today's ceremony. Unlike a formal ceremony where it's frowned upon to chat in the audience, today we want you to engage with us via the chat box. It's very important for us to keep the conversation going, as you know. I see Jackie Kennedy, one of the fantastic startup school coaches, is online now. Jackie, she's coming in from Tulbach and she's in the car. My goodness. So it just shows you how incredible this virtual world is and how we can connect people from anywhere. Thanks, Jackie. Very, very glad that you're here, especially to celebrate this particular cohort with us. I'm going to give it another 2 minutes as we wait for the last few people to join us today. As I say, if you just arrived, welcome. Please do join us on the chat. Fizile, I see you coming in from Johannesburg, and Bale, please, will you change your settings so that you are talking to all panelists and attendees? At the moment, your chat is just going to the panelists, which is myself, Stuart, Sean, Chris, and Seth. So make sure that you switch your to function so that you drop down there and it says to panelists and attendees. That goes for everybody. Please make sure that you are change that setting so that you can talk to all of us. There, brilliant, well done. Really, really very excited to have you all here. We've got quite a few people in the room. I am going to give it 1 more minute or 30 more seconds just to make sure that we do have everybody here who is going to be joining us today. If you have just come into the room, welcome. Please do open up your chat. Make sure you change the setting to talk to panelists and attendees. It's important that you are there to engage with us the whole way through today's celebration. It's very important. We want to hear what you have to say. Okay, we're getting much closer to the time. Very, very excited for today. Sean, if you could, I'm going to unmute you. Sean, is Seth joined you there?
I'm right here.
Seth, the man. Thank you very much. Welcome. I just wanted to make sure you were here before we got going with today's proceedings.
Happy, thank you.
Excellent. Good. I see, sorry, we want to just make sure the last few people who have come into the room are settled. I see there's 3 more people who joined in the last 10 seconds. Those that have joined, welcome, and do join us on the chat. We're going to chat the whole way through today's ceremony. So open up the chat box and make sure that you've changed your setting to all panelists and attendees. The panelists are the people running today's ceremony or the webinar, and the attendees is everybody in the cohort. So you want to make sure that we're chatting to everybody. Good. I see Angela's here. So glad you're here. Welcome. Angela, where are you joining us from? Because I know you were traveling, so I just wanted to check whether you are still somewhere in Europe. Tamburai, fantastic. Tamburai is joining us, and I'm very excited that Tamburai is joining us. Tamburai was one of our finalist judges and just an incredible entrepreneur. So it's a really special thing to have her joining us today and taking the time to be with us. Mohammed, great. Here from GrowWorks, the company. Mohammed, will you change your setting to make sure that you are chatting to all panelists and the attendees? So change your to function to be to all panelists and attendees. We want to just make sure that you are talking to everybody. There we go. Well done, Mohammed. We are on the same page. And I think we can probably start with today. If we would like you just to welcome them in the chat, make sure that everybody is feeling safe and happy on this Friday afternoon. And I think we should start with today's proceedings. So a very big welcome to everybody to this digital close and the prize giving and celebration of the Startup School Entrepreneurship course. And this course presentation started in June and it ran all the way through to August, and we're very excited that you are joining us today for this closing ceremony. Today we're going to be reflecting on the process that you've all gone through, and we're going to be making the announcement of the results of the prize money. And I know there's a lot of anxiety around that, so I'm going to ask you to try and contain the anxiety and wait for us to get to that point. We're incredibly happy to have you all in attendance today. And I think what's important for me to make note of is that it was short notice. And we know that it's not always that easy to take some time out of your busy day, especially as an entrepreneur. Also know it's school holidays at the moment. So I know some people are away. So we may have missed some people today. We may be missing some people. Just to let you know, we do record the whole ceremony and we will be sending it to everybody who completed the course. And that goes for if you are having any troubles today technically, please don't panic, because we will make sure that you do get a copy of this whole ceremony. If you do have any technical glitches, do get hold of us. You can send an email to us and Tanya will try and pick it up. Also, if you are struggling, just chat to us in the chat function and we can try and resolve any issues that you have. You'll also notice that both Jackie Kennedy and Tanya Gill, these were your 2 coaches for your presentation. They are joining us today and they are also going to be available in the chat there. So if you have any questions for them, they will be happy to answer. So let's get on to the real reason that we're here today. So Chris Hoskin and Stuart Cohen are the founders of the Startup School, and both are highly passionate South Africans with a very deep interest and extreme love for entrepreneurship. And the Startup School is supported and funded by South Africa's most innovative bank, and that's Investec. So there is Sean, Malana, and Setlhani Manchidi who have joined us today from Investec CSI, We are so privileged to have you here, and we want to thank you for being part of this journey with us, and particularly part of this presentation, the celebration that we're having today. It's this partnership that we have with Investec that has enabled you all to have the experience that you had with us on the Startup School Entrepreneurship course. But Stuart Cohen is somebody even more important than just the founder of the Startup School. He's one of the most impressive entrepreneurs in this country, and he's the co-founder and honorary chairman of the Mr. Price Group. Now, Stuart's business success really does speak for itself. But what is significant about the success is that it is really grounded in a keen entrepreneurial mindset. And when you speak to Stuart, you'll notice how much emphasis he puts on the mindset of an entrepreneur, the mindset of the business person. And as you know, we in the course and through the course, we do talk a lot about resilience and determination. And Stuart definitely is a man who has both of those in abundance. So Stuart is joining us today all the way from Hermanus. So I'm going to now let Stuart talk. I'm going to unmute Stuart. Can you hear me? Can you give me a test to see if we can hear you?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. I'm just going to switch your video on. Just give me a moment to do that. I think, Stuart, you're going to need to enable your own video. Can you click your video at the bottom just next to your mic? If you can't, it's not a problem. I will make sure I can do it from this side. Chris Muller, if you don't mind, can you just assist here to get Stuart's video working?
I've clicked on the video. Are we up?
Can hear you, just not seeing you. So maybe if you can carry on, and I will make sure that the video comes through now, but we can hear you clearly.
Okay. Thanks, Jared. Thanks for the good words.
Jared, can you make me host again?
Sure.
Maybe that we have
Sorry,
Hello?
Yes, you're live. You can go ahead.
Okay. So I'm going to proceed, and Jared, thanks for the kind words. I hope you can hear me okay now.
Yes, we can.
The internet supply from Hermanus is a bit ropey at times. That may be the cause of the problem. So first of all, I want to congratulate all the students on the Startup School for getting through the boot camp and for completing the course. It's a tough course, and you all got through, so well done. I think you've also learned some wonderful lessons about business, and that's really going to help you as you go forward in your own companies and the companies that you will start in the future. So everybody asks us, why did we start this Startup School? It's a question on everybody's minds. And I think that there are two main reasons. The first reason was that, well, we know that entrepreneurs are the ones who change the world. And the fact is that all the research shows that the entrepreneurs are the ones who create the jobs in every country of the world. It's not the big business. Big business doesn't do that. I'm just going to see if there's something that says join audio.
No, we can hear you. You're absolutely fine.
Okay, all right, I lost the screen here. So it's small business, it's entrepreneurs who create all the jobs in this world. And in this country, we particularly need to create jobs. It's the front page of every newspaper, how are we going to create the jobs? So we think the Startup School is the start of a whole movement of encouraging entrepreneurship in this country. A second reason is the rate of business failure in this country is the highest in the world. And a lot of people go out of business making basic mistakes that can be avoided. So we think through our program, you can learn a lot more about how a business runs, how you can avoid making the classic mistakes like not having enough cash flow or not planning your cash flow. And in so doing, we'll have more businesses and more jobs. I mean, ultimately what we want to do is create a support ecosystem for entrepreneurs. So that just helps us grow many more entrepreneurs in the country and just adds many more jobs. So that's the rationale. I have to say, as you've chosen this path of entrepreneurship, it's not going to be easy. There are going to be a lot of bumps on the way. And I always say to people who are starting out their own businesses, I say, have you thought about how hard it's going to be? And they say, yes, we've thought about how hard it is. Okay, so take that picture in your head about how hard it's going to be and multiply that by 100, and you'll have some idea of how tough it's going to be. In every business, in the history of every business, if you read books on the history of different companies, and I encourage you to read as many company stories, read about Sam Walton, how he started Walmart, and Howard Schultz, how he started Starbucks. These are inspirational stories, but in every story, you will find that there were crises, there were existential threats where the businesses could have failed. And that's what you need to understand. Even in my own case, I mean, we worked for 3 years. We didn't earn anything for 3 years. We were nearly out of business, I don't know how many times. And so the mindset of the entrepreneur, which we put so much time into, is fundamentally probably the most important thing you will learn on this program. It's the resilience, it's the keeping going and never giving up. So that, I think, is probably the biggest learning that you will make. It's not easy. Things go wrong, businesses fail, people come back, they reinvent themselves. So what you need to understand from the mindset thing is that it's about belief. If you believe very strongly in your business idea and you believe in yourself, then any of your dreams will be realized. That belief needs to be really, really strong. And the final business that you end up with in 10 years may be very different from the business that you presented at the school now. It changes, it may pivot. But I think what drives every entrepreneur is this passion to work for yourself, to be your own boss, and to be in control of your destiny. And if you see that in yourself and you recognize that, then you're on your way to being a great entrepreneur. So wanting to be an owner is, wanting to control your destiny is fundamental to your passion. So to the finalists, I want to say well done getting on the short list. I also just want you to understand that being a finalist, some finalists will get prizes, some won't get prizes. The fact that you don't get a financial prize doesn't mean there's anything wrong with your business model. We have a limited amount of prize money. I wish we had more, but if we had, and so some of you are needing in the millions to grow your businesses. We can't do that at this stage. So we try and allocate the prize money to where it's going to have the greatest impact. And that's a judgment call. That doesn't reflect on any of your businesses. And we've had some amazing businesses come forward. There should be many more winners, but that's life. We can only have one winner. And so don't feel down. Just be resilient and move on. What we want to do in the future is to have a proper startup school fund, an incubator fund that we can lend money or advance money to a lot more businesses on a much greater scale. So watch the space for the startup school fund. It's coming soon. We're trying to get the financial backing for that. And we think that's very important for next stage funding for many of our graduates from the school. So I just want to say thank you to the startup school team, Jared, to Tanya, Jackie, and Chris. You've done an amazing job. And what I really admire in what you're doing is that you're continually improving. Every iteration of this program is better than the previous one. You're adding elements to the app, the platform, and you're making a major contribution to entrepreneurship in this country, and in so doing to the country. So thank you to you all. To Investec, to Seth and Sean, your support has been amazing, awesome. And your passion for the startup school is part of the reason for our success. We couldn't have wished for better partners. And I think that what Investec as a group do for entrepreneurship in this country is not well understood, but their investment in entrepreneurship, in the overseas trips, and everything that they do is driven by entrepreneurs, pushing entrepreneurs, helping to create entrepreneurs. And I think it's just awesome what Investec do for entrepreneurs in this country. So in conclusion, well done to everybody who's been through the program, to the finalists. We're expecting great things from all of you. Please keep in touch through the platform with all the others. We're trying to build a group. We've got several hundred now. We want to get to the thousands of networked entrepreneurs who can be a force to be reckoned with in creating a better place for entrepreneurs in South Africa. So thank you, well done, and God bless you all.
Thank you so much, Stuart, for your input and ongoing commitment to growing business in South Africa. We really appreciate it. I'm sorry we couldn't get the video working for you there, but your words were fantastic, and we really, really, really love having you involved, and just your drive to grow entrepreneurship is inspirational. So along with your reflection, I'd like to reflect a little bit on the past few months that this cohort has gone through with Startup School. So I just want to make sure that everybody can hear me. Let's make sure everybody's in the room with us. So quickly in the chat, can you give me a raised hand if you want to, or just we can hear. Just wanted to check in the chat there, guys. Let me know. Everybody comfortable and happy? Can we hear? Good. Everybody's saying so. Fantastic. So at the beginning of June, 98 of you or entrepreneurs were accepted and registered and started learning with Startup School. And as you know, at the end of week 2, which marked the end of the bootcamp phase, this number had been reduced to 74. That means 74 of you showed true commitment to the course. And it was this committed group of entrepreneurs that stayed the course. And we are so proud to say that we've achieved a 79%. We didn't quite hit the 80%, 79% completion rate. And we're so excited that there were that many people of that 74 core who stayed the full 12 weeks. And we're really excited about that, which is after the fact. Hi, Stuart. We now have a video of you, so you can wave and we can now see what you look like.
Okay.
Fantastic. Right. Moving through key content, though, with a new topic each week, all the while we reflected on your own character as an innovative entrepreneur. The team here at Startup School, our coaches, the technical team, we've all felt incredibly privileged to work alongside such talent, which we see in each of you. So while you were learning, we were also learning. And we know that the course will only benefit from this presentation. And of course, the constructive feedback that you gave us along the way. Startup School really believes that a key ingredient to success is support, which is why we believe in the coaching and mentoring that we offer. So I really want to thank my team, particularly Tanya and Jackie, for their dedication and hard work in pioneering a support model that we know helps to grow and develop entrepreneurs. The course was also coupled with a mentorship program, and we realize that being a volunteer mentor is a challenge because you're volunteering your time. And we really want to thank our strong network of mentors who are volunteering their time to support us and the entrepreneurs on this course. So thank you to those men and women who were able to do that for us. And while I know that not all of you were successfully paired with a mentor, I do believe that you are now equipped to seek out mentorship and mentor relationships as you move forward on your entrepreneurial journey. You know that learning is important, which is why you've committed to this course. So I do want to encourage you, even if you did have a mentor and the mentorship relationship is good, do seek out people out there who inspire you, who you believe you can learn from. Make the connection and see what you can get. It is very important that we're not scared of asking. So I do want to encourage you, particularly those that weren't necessarily paired with a mentor. Go and seek out mentorship. It is important. So Investec has made available some prize money. And I know that, as I said at the beginning, everybody's anxious to hear the outcomes of the judging process. But as Stuart said, although we'd love to award everybody money, it is not. So I'd like to take a little bit of time to remind ourselves of the value of this whole experience, being in the learning, the experimenting, and of course the networking. A course like ours, which allows you the opportunity to learn, experiment, collaborate, and network, is invaluable. And I really would like you to take some time to appreciate that and acknowledge what it is that you've learned and the value that you will take away from that. So regardless of the outcome of the prize award today, I want to encourage you all to reflect on this learning, the things that you got to test, and of course the people that you got to engage with. And I really do mean this when I say it is this way more than money that will strengthen you as an entrepreneur. So it is at this point that I'd like to hand over to Seth Tokani Manchidi and Sean. Seth is the head of CSI at Investec, and he's a key partner to the success of Startup School's educational offering. We are incredibly privileged to have you, Seth, on board. And each time I engage with you, I definitely feel like we are making huge strides and changes for the positive in the entrepreneurial space. Thank you for your inspiration and for your dedication. And I'm going to hand over to you now. So let's make sure that we get your video working. Okay, Seth and Sean, can we just test your mic? Can you talk?
Yeah, we're here.
We can hear you. I would like you now to try and enable your video. You would need to do that at the bottom of your screen. There's a little video icon. Can you click on that for me?
Yeah.
Just need to change one setting on my side. Sorry. Okay. Just, will you click that button again one more time? There we go. We can see you perfectly. All right. Sean, wave your hand so we can identify. Hi, Sean. Fantastic. And Seth, Seth, that is a fantastic shirt.
Thank you very much. It's a Friday shirt. It's a celebratory shirt. It's fit for the occasion.
Absolutely. I'm going to mute my mic and I'm handing over to you.
Thank you. Jared, thank you very, very much for your kind words. And Stuart, let me acknowledge your presence. Thank you again for such amazing insight. Always a privilege to hear you speak as well. I want to take this opportunity on behalf of Investec to, one, congratulate each and every single one of the participants in this program. You know, we sit behind scenes, we design programs, we don't quite know the people who are to benefit, and we don't quite know how receptive people will be to them. And we're very encouraged every time when we have such a very successful intake. And listen, I mean, it's tough enough to being a student at university, but to be an online student is even tougher. And to kind of report the kind of successes that we have reported to date is admirable. So I want to take this opportunity to give each and every single one of you a round of applause and a pat on the back to say congratulations, well done, and it is something that we should celebrate. But let me perhaps on behalf of Investec reflect a bit on the significance of entrepreneurship and why it is that we would partner with Stuart, Chris, Jared, Tanya, and Jackie and crew in as far as enabling this is concerned. We've got to understand that we live in a country mirrored with a whole host of social ills and challenges. And in fact, on a daily basis, we should be all in search of the kind of solutions that can address these social challenges. And one of our key aspirations as part of a CSI team is to enable as many people to become active economic participants. And we have thought that perhaps there are two main ways in which we can enable people to become active economic participants. One is through education, and the other is through entrepreneurship. And it's interesting, in this particular initiative, we match both together. We take entrepreneurship and we marry the two in order to facilitate the opportunities that enable people to become active economic participants. We do this with a view and understanding that in a country such as ours, it is not the Investex, it's not the Mr. Price, it's not all other financial institutions that are the solution to the high unemployment rate in the country. In fact, the solution to the high employment rate lies within people such as yourselves. But at the same time, we acknowledge and accept that entrepreneurship, as Stuart rightly said, is a very lonely and very difficult journey. And to that extent, it's initiatives such as these that are very necessary to create that ecosystem, to create that kind of support that says that at moments when you feel like you are alone, at moments that you feel like you're far away from home, that these platforms become a home away from home. It is these that continue to give you the kind of hope, the kind of belief. Because, you know, sorry to have to say this, that we have to live in hope, but hope alone is no strategy. But it is important that programs such as these give the much needed hope, that even when Eskom fails to provide us with light, we must have belief that there is light at the end of the tunnel. And we have to have as many of you have that belief. And it's very, very important to all of us, which is why we partnered as Investec with Stuart and team on this very initiative. And it's admirable what we have seen. Admirable that all of you have gone out of your way. You have left your comfort zones. Some of you have even left your day jobs because you have gone in pursuit of your passion. You know, my former CEO here at Investec, Stephen Kosef, talks of how they started this very bank, this very institution that today has a presence internationally. And he talks very fondly of how 8 people around a table with only one phone in the middle. And with all their other struggles, and he said, we fought a lot. He said, it was tough, it was rough, but they stuck it out. And 40 odd years later, this entity employs so many people, almost 10,000 across the country. This very entity invests over 80 million in social development. This very entity is able to lead initiatives such as the Yes Initiative and many others, because that's where change comes from. That's where solutions for our daily challenges will come from. Not from the big corporates. It is from you guys and the extent to which you can grow. So of course, I know that as I talk, you're more anxious and worried about, we want to get to the moment. We want to get to the prize money. And I must emphasize yet again what Jared said. Here the value, as much as money is important, isn't just in the money. It's in the process. It's in the journey. It is in those moments. It is in those conversations that you had with Jackie and Tanya. It is in those conversations for those of you who are lucky enough to have mentors who had insightful conversations with mentors, who overnight you thought of pivoting, overnight you thought of changing angles, changing direction. That's the value. That's the value. Of course, I understand. Money is important. But as I often tell youngsters, money is important, but money isn't everything. For it can buy us the most expensive house, but not a home itself. It can buy us these days positions, but not the respect that comes with positions. It can buy us the best medical care, but not health itself. So we've got to understand that in context, that it is in human relations, it is in the networks, it is in the connections, and ask Investec for that. For we pride ourselves in taking true belief in human connections. So that's very, very important. But having said that, I've got to acknowledge that there were a number of you that were shortlisted. And I am going to take a step back and say, to those who are shortlisted, congratulations, you took a step further. And I'm going to individually acknowledge and celebrate you. So Zane Bartley, you're amongst the list. Chris van Rensburg, on the list. Angela Shukwambana, on the list. Julius Ramashia, on the list. Sianda Mtrina, on the list. Samkelo Mtukuse, on the list. Matt Fenton, on the list. Dana Arnoldi, one who's employed at Investec as we speak. Yolanda Msutwana, on the list. Richard Kelland, on the list. Imad Isaacs, on the list. And Joy Ezeka, on the list. Just as in recognition, to have been shortlisted is quite a feat. I know the process involved. We, of course, where Stuart and myself and other colleagues sit on the tail end of the selection panel. But to have gone through to that stage, I know it was no easy task. And I think that is an acknowledgement of potential. It is an acknowledgement of potential. Again, to repeat what Stuart said, the prize money given, if we had a bottomless pit financially, Stuart, and it's virtually impossible to have a bottomless pit financially, each and every single one of you would receive a prize. But it must be understood in the context that the prizes given today are not a reflection of the caliber, are not a reflection of that which has impressed us so much, are not a reflection of what you're capable of. In fact, it is just really an attempt on our part to balance and focus already limited social investment resources. So please take it to heart that if we had it our own way, each and every single one of you would walk away with a prize. But let's get into the moment that I know all of you are so eagerly waiting for, and in fact want to push as I speak to say, no, come now, we've heard. And of course I acknowledge you have heard. But before we get to the top three, there are special mentions that we must have. As a panel, it was quite a tough task to sit there and have to decide as to who makes it to the next level. And there were those, of course, who, even though not necessarily part of the top three, and even more important, not necessarily the recipients of prizes that we thought should be acknowledged and celebrated for what they do. And the first one that I would like to mention is Ahmed Isaacs of Youth Academy for Leadership, excellence in what you do. It was admirable. We were so overly impressed at what this can do. Again, reflective of what we in this country need. Not only just we at Investec, but what the majority of South Africans need. And for that, we really want to acknowledge you. Sianda, my goodness, this is interesting. African Energy. Again, we were overly impressed by your efforts. We really want to say to you, keep betting, as Stephen Koseff would say. Put your head down, Put, and keep betting. And Sianda, we were so impressed with you that although not quite the norm, there was an out of ordinary kind of allocation, because we thought there is something that can really shift the needle somewhat for you. And Stuart, I'm very grateful on behalf of this initiative, and in particular on behalf of Sianda himself and Africa Energy, that you will be sponsored, but to go and do a short course on solar energy. We really felt that if paid for, and we could tell your eagerness, Sianda, your eagerness to learn, to kind of say, bring it on. I mean, it's not only witnessed through the program, but bring it on. Here's yet another opportunity. As entrepreneurs, we must never stop learning. We must never think we have arrived, because we must understand that success is no destination. We don't arrive. I may plan to go from here to Durban, but as much as I may arrive in Durban, that's not success in entrepreneurship. In entrepreneurship is we must be in it for the long haul. And the microwave approaches that many of us may be looking for ain't going to work. You put something in the microwave for 5 minutes, it's hot for the next 5 minutes, and it's cold again. You've got to be at it for the long haul. And Sianda, for that, we really are very grateful to Stuart, who really felt very moved, along all of us who were panel members. Let me then move to the third place. Again, it's tough. As a commitment, we've only had one prize to give, but we've got to acknowledge that the competition was tough. And really, again, just from a prospect of facilitating broader inclusion through this platform of many others, we were overly impressed, Richard Cullen of Guild of Coffee, by what you've got going there. to have started being part of a team, Richard, that started a wonderful brand in coffee, a wonderful experience in coffee, and to have then looked and said, where else can I take this? And to think, it's not only where else can I take this, is where else can I take this in a manner that takes others along with me? That is awesome, 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 and you deserve a pat on the back. You deserve all the encouragement we can give. Yeah. I'm sure all I can say is we'll watch the space, because no doubt you're going places. I then move on to second place. Wow. Second place. My goodness. Yolanda. We were very, very impressed. Not only just by the way in which you showed up in the day and the extent to which you were not in the country and you were at an international expo, but you took the time, just as you took the time to complete the course. But whoever thought, Yolanda, that attire of all things could do the things that you have gone and done with it. That attire of all things can all of a sudden move from being a sore to the eye to being such a pleasure to the eye. My goodness, whoever thought that a female of all people could see an opportunity in tires? Whoever thought that there's an opportunity in something that you don't have to pay for? Sianda, you are sitting on gold. You are sitting on gold, and we would like to encourage and support you in your efforts. And although we had earmarked only one prize, we felt very strongly that as part of a second prize, we should give you some monetary contribution. And as both Jared and Stuart have said, we should give you this because it'll move the needle, not only 1 inch or 2 or 3, it'll move the needle by a mile. And so, Sianda, Yolanda, I'm Father Christmas today. I feel very generous. I come bearing fruits and a whole host of other things, in that we're giving you 60,000 rands as part of Whew. Wow. And I have no doubt, Yolanda Msutwan, that it'll go so far. We move on. My goodness, in the space that I work, I often meet people, like I've met all of you, like I've met many of the shortlisted. But I have learned that the secret to success not only lies in technical ability, but it lies in true passion. And that passion very often is driven by what we experience in life. That passion very often is driven by the desire to make sense, you know. And this particular entrepreneur has had a aha moment. And people often ask me, Setlogane, what do you mean by an aha moment? And I say an aha moment is when the penny drops. It's when all of a sudden the puzzle pieces fall into place. It's when all of a sudden it all makes sense. And unanimously, there's one particular entrepreneur who we should get the drum beats rolling for, convinced all of us on this panel, unanimously, that they deserve this first prize. Joy Ezeka of Zuli and Imani. My goodness. We were blown away. We were blown away. The extent to which you knew what you were about. You knew your limitations. You knew your strength. And the extent to which you were to invest so much time and effort in creating paths for yourselves. My goodness, you yet again are sitting on a mixture of diamonds, gold. In fact, you are sitting on a mine. You are sitting on a mine. We are convinced you're sitting on a mine. Internationally, this is something they will come for. And this is, again, we must encourage you. You know, very often, many entrepreneurs want to try and, they believe in diversification, Stuart. But I think sometimes they take diversification too far. They spread themselves too thin. And you, Joy, know your strength. You have played to your strength. May you continue playing to that very strength, because it is this very strength that's going to take you far. Joy, I'm not done. Again, I'm feeling like Father Christmas. I thought, Stuart, Christmas only comes once a year. And I thought we were still at least 2 months away from Christmas. But I feel that we really, 100,000 rand, 100,000 rands, courtesy of Investec, we know it is going to shift the needle by far. Congratulations, and well done. And once again, today we're all winners. Today, all who have had the joy of experiencing not only the program, but experiencing this wonderful graduation and closing out ceremony, I want to say to you, you haven't been inspired, go and inspire others. You have been empowered, go and empower others. Your candles have been lit, go and light others. Be a source of inspiration to many who may think, particularly at this point in time in our country, that needs inspiration, needs people such as yourselves who understand that hope alone is no strategy. Hope accompanied by action is what achieves goals. Thank you very much, and well done.
Wow, thank you so much, Seth and Sean. I really, really appreciate it. It's very difficult. It's no point in me trying to follow on with anything other than just so happy and so excited. Really, really loved today. And I hope that all of you enjoyed it as much as we did. Your certificates of completion will be in your inbox shortly. Those of you who are on the shortlist or on the shortlist, you'll be getting the wrap-up feedback from the process in due course. Look out for that. And remember, you are now all a Startup School alumni, and we look forward to staying in touch, to seeing you grow from strength to strength in business and in life. We're now family, so you're not easily going to get rid of us, and we're very excited to see you just grow. Have a fantastic day, everybody. Thank you so much to everybody who is here, particularly Seth, Sean. Really appreciate it. Stuart, thank you so much for coming all the way from Hermanus. Everybody else on the team, well done. I'm going to leave the chat open for a little bit longer just so that people can say their goodbyes. Those of you who are traveling this weekend, travel safe and have a fantastic weekend.